In 1975, our conceptual understanding of optimal psychological performance changed forever.
Behind the world's most successful people stand the 4 pillars of flow.
Everything else just seems to disappear. Every domain you find, ultimate human performance has the exact same signature. It is a state of consciousness known to researchers as flow.
Athletes and creatives call it the zone.
It's a rhythm that you really can't explain, but you don't want it ever to end.
It's more a mental state of mind than anything. When you're in the zone, you know it's going in.
It's an awesome feeling.
Ever heard of Cal Newport's best-selling book, Deep Work?
Deep work, just this deep state of productivity, I would kind of, compare it to the flow state, this elusive state of effortless effort. You're just in the zone.
Okay, sorry. I know that was a lot. But despite flow theory being initially introduced in 1975 by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi in his book Beyond Boredom and Anxiety, the concept was not popularized until the 1990 release of his later book, Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience. But wait, what exactly is flow? Flow is defined as a state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. The experience is so enjoyable that people will continue to do it, even at great cost, for the sheer sake of doing it. It's essentially a feeling. It's when things kind of just fall into place and whatever task you're working on becomes effortless. And so here's the interesting part. Flow is neither good nor bad. Flow is flow. For example, the thief who is immersed in planning, problem solving, and executing under pressure may enter into a state of flow. Why? Because flow state is what we would call value neutral, meaning it's not directly tied to ethical or moral behavior. Fascinating, because it implies its nature is more physiological and psychological than other mainstream productivity hacks. It's not a time management method. It's not a secret to success. It's a complete state of being, which begs the question, how do we use it? How can we enter this zone of optimal performance on command? Well, to answer this question, we have to first understand the basics of our consciousness. Dr. Mihai emphasized the dynamic between our consciousness and flow. According to him, mastery over the former precedes mastery over the latter. He defined consciousness as the subjective experience of oneself and one's environment. This experience includes the awareness of one's feelings and emotions, and the awareness of and perceived control over one's thoughts and behaviors. For clarity or an alternative definition, the American Psychological Association defines consciousness as the region of the psyche that contains thoughts, feelings, perceptions, and other aspects of mental life currently present in awareness. The content of the conscious is thus inherently transitory and continuously changing as the person shifts the focus of their intention. Right, so lots of words, but what's the takeaway? Since what we focus on directly shapes our consciousness or our awareness, the best technique we have in our arsenal to shape our conscious experience is the ability to control our attention. As we shift our attention, we shift our awareness. And as we shift our awareness, we literally shift how we experience the world. This is why two people can experience the same trauma externally and walk away with two different internal experiences. Our psychology is shaped by this unique dynamic between our environment and our attention. This is one reason why our beliefs, values, and even personalities differ from one another. Our worldview is not something we are born with. Sure, there are genetic predispositions, but from my perspective, this isn't nature versus nurture. It's nature and nurture. As we interact with the world, our subjective experience, or our consciousness, is molded. So if we want to learn how to enter flow state on command, we have to master our ability to control our focus in the present moment. Because without that, we're practically trying to drive straight without using the steering wheel. The bottom line, optimal states result when there is order in consciousness. Got it? Glad we're on the same page. So that's phase 1, master the consciousness, which leads us into phase 2, master flow. In the first edition of Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience, Dr. Mihai identified 9 ways through which we can achieve flow. Our bodies, our minds, memories, contemplating philosophical questions, communication, writing, lifelong learning, a gamified and immersive job, and solitude, which is great. There are numerous activities in which we can experience flow, but that still doesn't answer the question, how do we enter flow state on command? Well, according to Dr. Mihai, 9 components must be present. Number 1, the task is just outside our grasp, but we believe we can reach it. Number 2, we're able to focus all of our effort and attention on the task. Number 3, our goals are clearly defined. Number 4, we receive immediate feedback, which includes course corrections. Number 5, our time spent on the task seems effortless to us. Number 6, we feel a sense of autonomy over our actions. Number 7, our focus isn't on ourselves. Number 8, the experience is timeless. Number 9, the experience is autotelic. Autotelic essentially describes an activity or a creative work that has purpose in and of itself. So think about the difference between a job and a career. Think about the difference of having to work and getting to work. This is why athletes, creatives, writers, artists, they're able to master their craft because for them, it isn't work. It isn't a job. The activity holds purpose in and of itself. And so flow is the complete and total immersion in an activity that A, is enjoyable to you in some shape, way, or form, and B, challenges you just enough to push you slightly past your comfort zone. Your skills must be tested. And if we think about this, it makes sense. If you're not being challenged, it's hard to focus because you're going to get bored. If I tell you to race someone who is 10 times slower than you, you're not going to enter flow because there's no challenge. If I tell you to race a Formula One race car, the challenge is too high, so you'll probably just stop running. But if I tell you to race someone who is just slightly faster than you, there is just the right amount of challenge to test your abilities and induce flow state. So the answer to entering a state of flow can be found using this flow chart. Calculated doses of challenge, risk, and thrill met with appropriate levels of skill create an environment that is capable of inducing flow. Again, I know that was a lot. Now we could talk more about this concept for hours. We could talk about how intrinsic motivation is more likely to lead to flow than extrinsic motivation. We could talk about the applications of this theory in the public education system, in business, and in sports. We could talk about the implications of flow state on our rate of learning, our happiness, and our personal performance. So, let's do it. Intrinsic motivation is more likely to lead to flow than extrinsic motivation. Perhaps the main reason why is that intrinsically motivated athletes, employees, or students actually enjoy the activity, so they possess more of the 9 components of flow that we discussed earlier than extrinsically motivated individuals. Which leads me to the applications of performance-based psychology in 3 areas: school, business, and life. To briefly introduce myself, my name is Giovanni Philippos. I'm the founder of GPA Enterprises, which is a media and publishing company working at the intersection of performance psychology, behavioral strategy, and culture-driven leadership. For over 8 years, I've independently researched and studied the psychology of the top 1%, or what I call outliers. My focus is on applied cognitive and behavioral strategy and its implications on academic, professional, and personal performance. I specialize in optimizing the psychology of high-functioning individuals and organizations while sharing some fascinating research from my field for free to impact people's lives for the better. Currently, I'm developing an academic curriculum that is designed to foster better academic performance from students. Most students struggle to perform under formal education standards due to its rigidity. The public education system requires supplemental reforms, and we believe we can help. As we discussed earlier, flow state can only be induced in an environment that cultivates it. In business, culture is the X factor. Intrinsic motivation is more likely to lead to flow than extrinsic motivation. Culture-driven leadership is 100 times more likely to drive optimal performance at scale than corporate entities. Similar to the school system, optimal performance requires an optimal environment. Like a garden, plants cannot grow in a toxic environment. Growth is cultivated. So again, if you are interested in transforming your organizational culture, use these psychological principles if you'd prefer to do it yourself. Or give us a call and we can work together to drive optimal performance for your team. Lastly, according to research, flow state can increase our learning rate. Flow state is also linked to happiness because when we enter the zone, all unpleasant feelings disappear. There's a reason it's called the psychology of optimal experience. So I'll end it with this. Flow is just one theory, among many, that demonstrates how untapped the potential within our internal psychology is. The true power of our psychology remains a mystery, but here at GPA Enterprises, we are committed to unlocking it one step at a time. Let me know in the comments what you think about this topic. Subscribe, like, and share to support our channel. Follow me on other social media platforms, and grab a copy of my first book, The Personal Development Thesis, to get a better sense of how I think and operate on both the personal and professional level. Think bold, act different, be an outlier. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.